Well, it's the holidays, I guess. And it just creeps up. I feel like every time I forgot it was coming. Forgot that Thanksgiving was coming, and now we're just right in the mix of it all. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Just blink and everything just flies by in like a millisecond. I still haven't got my Christmas gifts. Probably should start figuring what that's all gonna look like. Instead of waiting like last minute, like 3 days before, trying to get everything one day shipping home or shipping to me so I can pack them for Christmas and barely meet the deadline. And then I'm just putting pictures of the items in the Christmas box because I'm like, it hasn't shown up yet. I hope you enjoy. And it's just like an awkward, like, thank you. But so I think that's probably should start on that at things. Start on that. I'll get it together. I have some ideas floating around, but nothing too set in stone yet. What I got 23 days until Christmas. Yeah, probably should start doing it this week. It's a good time. It's only Tuesday. Maybe find something. Or end up at Target in the $4 section, just buying a bunch of like random knickknacks. Put them in a little bag. Like, here you go. I hope you enjoy. It's a step up from the 99-cent store. At least this stuff won't break in the first 2 days. Well, I don't know. It might. But what we got going on? In other news, we also have people are still protesting this ICE problem. I don't know if it's a problem, but they're still mad about ICE grabbing and deporting immigrants, I guess. Which they're so illegal. People are like, oh, we're just grabbing them. I'm like, well, it is illegal to come here undocumented. It is a problem. But I digress. I guess I get it. There's a lot of touchy subjects that could enter in this situation. People get upset. Well, keep going. I'm not gonna harp on that. But the wild thing, I just thought it was wild. Like they're going to Home Depots and protesting because of the. I guess the ICE has decided to roll up 2 Home Depots, like on the corner, like the 2 Home Depots. I don't know about you, but growing up my entire life, there's always been just Mexicans outside Home Depot, Mexicans on the corner of Home Depot. People pick them up, go to work. They ask them to help build a deck. It's a real thing. It's just now there's a crackdown, and now the one spot where that was a safe square for all the illegals is not a safe square, and people are getting upset. And I get it; it's justified. It's like a wild turn of events. It's like a massive crackdown. I don't think people are ready for it, but I think it just shows me the severity of how bad they want to, like how aggressive they're looking to do it. So even like the little minor ones are getting put sit in a dangerous situation. But it's wild. I mean, but then they're and people are getting mad at the fact that these people are getting snagged. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's crazy. They're like people in the community, and they're just disappearing the next week. It's not normal. It sucks. It happens. I don't know how to approach it. It's just, it sucks. It's a wild thing that's happening. Does it have to happen? Could have done in a softer way, but again, nothing's ever done with a graceful touch. You know, it's all just like we're gonna weed whack it down. We gotta break some shit. I say it's only been, but we're about almost done with the year, and we're getting close to the end of his first year as the president. Like, it's fucking crazy. You were breaking shit in the first thing, and now we're just watching shit, just kind of like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna fucking happen? I don't know. But so people, like, the fact that people have gotten mad about the Home Depot situation, now they're just protesting. Like, they're protesting at the Home Depots by, I guess, buying ice scrapers and just rolling around and then returning them. Who are you protesting then? Like, Home Depot had come out and said that they are no affiliation with ICE and have not had anything to do with them This is purely a culture thing to where is the easiest. They're literally going like, oh, where is the easiest place to snag them? Corner of Home Depot. Like, they're not getting creative. Like, I thought they would be. They have the amount of funding they get. You would think they would get a little more creative. Like, how should we get these people? No, we're gonna go to the Home Depot. We're going to the corner of Home Depot. I said all this as a joke a while ago. I feel like that we were joking about it. Oh, it'd be easy if they just went there. No, they're going there. I thought that was like a last ditch situation. I didn't think that was the first thing we were gonna go for. But hey, to each their own. Like, not to each their own. Dude, fucking figure this out. The fact, I don't know who you're protesting when you're marching around buying ice scrapers. Apparently, you look at some of the videos, because all of them decided to post social media videos of them protesting and return. It's not all ice scrapers. Sometimes it's paint mixers, and sometimes it's like the paint spatulas that you help like grab it, and while you're like doing your walls and stuff for your house or anything. Like, that's the kind of people that are protesting. They don't know what they're getting. They don't. They don't know what they're protesting. I bet you a bunch of them showed up with signs. We're like, we're gonna walk around Home Depot. It's the first time I've been in one. We'll go around. We'll see what's all been. I've never touched a hammer. That's what I feel like it kind of went. It just blows my mind. Like, their biggest idea was they were gonna march around with signs and going protesting. The fact that protesting and being mad at Home Depot for helping ice, you're like, they don't. That's not how this worked. That's actually, they didn't have any play in this game. They had to come out on social media and be like, nothing, no affiliation. I think you're just like, leave them alone at that point. Go. Protest outside on the corner. Don't go in the store. God forbid don't go in the store. Why are you going in the store? Well, there's no reason to go in the store. Because they're in a Home Depot parking lot? That's the do-it-yourself section. They're just here for helping hands. They're like the cheaper version of the guy that comes to your house and helps build the furniture at IKEA. They just give the entire crew $20 and they got it handled, locked down. They'll build a soundproof deck for you. Sorry, I had to drink water. Feels like sometimes my throat's all weird, but I don't know, man. And they're getting mad about it. People are getting mad about it. It's like, that's here. I get protesting ice. I get being mad about how everything is being handled. I respect it. I get it. It's out of control. Should done in like a better way, 100%, because people are sensitive, and we are still in the backlash of the woke culture. And don't you understand how these people think? Let's take a step back. We could have done this and been like, actually track down people. We have the funding. The government has the ability to track every person in the United States and know exactly where they are, and we're just like not being able to find the illegals that suck into the country and are criminals. I feel like there's like a mixed situation here. Like, they're doing the exact same shit, unless we're just half-assing life, and that's probably also an option. But leave Home Depot out of this. They don't have anything to do with it. They just are a victim of circumstance. That's really what they are. I would call them a high-end Lowe's, but they're not out there helping them. That's the crazy part. Everybody's out there and they're acting like Home Depot was a big part of this and it was the master plan. It's like, no, they had no idea. This was just something that happened while they were building their massive empire. They didn't plan on having illegals camp outside their store. It was just a culture thing. People, they looked at a parking lot full of white people and were like, how can we profit off this? One guy realized he could just stand on the corner of a Home Depot and a guy would ask him to help build a deck. That's all that happened. And then word got around and they all started migrating, and then it became something that was unspoken. Everybody understood what was happening. I think that lasted for more than 20-something years. And now, people got mad. things have become a problem. So now they're going for easy targets. I get it. It's not okay. They're changing what we've always believed. But time for us to grow and change, I guess. And they're going for like the easiest possible place to grab them. Like, you could have done better. There's better play. You were going at the farms, they got mad. Going at Home Depot, they got mad. They're buying ice scrapers and paint mixers and returning them nonstop. It's fucked. I would be pissed if I was an employee at Home Depot. I'd be like, go home. Just go home. You don't gotta do this. There's no point. You're hurting yourself more than you're hurting. Actually, you're hurting me. You're killing me inside. Don't return this ice scraper for the 100th time. Because that's a whole process in the computer, and you're just making my day frustrating. We could chill out and just be and respect it and realize that we have nothing to do with the situation, but hey, that process doesn't fly in your brain. It's just crazy. And they don't see it. The whole world's flipped on its head. I don't think I think there's just a whole it's not because they're kidnapping the Mexicans at the Home Depot. It's because we're trying to deport them. It's because rap sales are down. I don't know how to transition. That's the other story that I had. But I think there's a giant just culture shift. I think I approached these stories in the wrong order, but we're going to go with it. I think you can just see it. Rap sales, they've been trending downward, I believe, since for the last couple years. Maybe, I think it probably was the start of COVID, where it's like you can just kind of start seeing the dip more of rap sales, just that kind of genre. It was big in the early 2000s and 2010s, late 90s. It was massive. But over time, it was like people just didn't jive with it as much. It was just a culture change. I mean, I was never big into rap. There's guys that I listened to, just random people. But like the main guys, I would say was like nowadays, like Chris Webby, like NF. Who else? Dylan Ponders, who I don't know how many people actually listen to any of these guys. Who else? Big Rose 6, Hippie Sabotage, Jam Wayne, Big Rose 6, Raheed Lee, Mercules, Suicide Boys. Like, I don't know. Basic white boy rappers, I would say. But that's not my main genre. It's like Sam Barber, Zach Brown Band, Old Dominion, Sam Hunt, I listen more country and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, you just see the trend in sales drastically. I think the biggest impact was the hip hop was not in the top 40 on the billboards and on the Billboard 100. It makes sense. I think rap became so mainstream that it became annoying. And that happened. I think that happens. That's when it hits its peak. That's when things hit their peak. Like, they become so popular and so cool, but then you see it be terrible because it's not about the art anymore. It's about being relevant, and that shifts and that changes and that fucks up what you're making. So you see that happen with rap. It's like you don't have rappers who rap like they're can do the art. You don't have a lot of them. And people were like, "Oh, Drake's like the best." I'm like, Drake's the best about what? Like, he's got some decent songs, I guess, but he doesn't grab you when he goes. He doesn't. Like, you guys have like Eminem and Tupac and Biggie, and you're like, or listen to Snoop Dogg, or listen to fucking oh my god, Ice Cube, and guys who can just when they're going, they have a presence with their words, and you listen, you just hear how they grab it and have a like they cared about the art. They practiced, they wrote, they did it. It was in their veins. It wasn't just something they did because it was like easy for them to make money and people would they would get eyeballs on them. And I think I call it was like the shit. I felt another genre was on the rise. Like country, I thought country was gonna pop off. I think you can see that with a lot of rappers, like even Post Malone making the transition. You had guys who weren't popular rappers that made transitions out of rap into country. Like Shabuzi, I think, is a perfect example. He was a guy I remember listening to some of his rap, like Shabuzi and Jelly Roll. Two guys who were like in rap but shifted and did country and had the voice for it. You have Beyonce and Post Malone. They took on roles and they did it, but hey, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's not the same thing. They don't have what they're saying. Is not the same. Like Post Malone can do it. I think he has a voice and can sing, carry himself just in the art perfectly fine. But you have guys like Beyonce. You just were too poppy. Like your transition isn't gonna be. You're still gonna be Beyonce. You're never gonna actually be country. Like you have guys like Morgan Wallen. I think in the Post Malone, like they kind of like align. And with Jelly Roll bridging the gap, then it's like another one. It just brought a different concept, and you have country that's gonna blow up. I think it's just starting to rise. Like you knew it was starting to, when a lot of artists were like transitioning and people were like, oh, why are you doing this? And you just see it more and more of just becoming a more prevalent force. That's why you're kind of like, I think culture's changing. I do. And I think this is one of those big signs, because it's not rap. It's not the hip hop community that dictates how the culture actually exists and how people work. You have country that's starting to become more of the mainstream act. Whether or not that stays the prevalent thing is a different story, and shifts, everything changes. It's inevitable. It's just how it works. I don't know how you change it though from this. We'll see. But I wonder how long it's going to last, because this has lasted 10, 20, 30 years. You have country, and if that lasts for another 30 years, it's just you're going to have different concepts of it. It's just very fascinating, because they've had to cancel. A lot of these rappers were canceling shows too, just because they weren't making seats. And dude, it's wild. It's fascinating to just see the transition. Dude, I'm only 26. So being able to sit back and look and see an actual transition of culture is fascinating, because you don't know what's going to happen next. How is this culture going to affect the next however long it's been going to be big and prevalent? Oh God, it's going to be so... Dude, it'll be fascinating to see. That's why I'm always like optimistic, because you see another kind of thing that's going to be taking more of a hold on it. And I think we're just in such an influx. Okay, I think I come back to this every time. I'm just a crazy dude with a microphone who smokes too much weed. But you see a culture influx on what people believe and kind of what they're into. And I think we were in a very, that's the thing, is like when you see culture starts to shift, it takes so much more time to get to the middle of it, because you just see the slow burn of how it's gonna become. And I think the biggest thing is like authenticity. And people are looking for that authentic feel. And going with country, I think you kind of get more of that. You have plenty of genres that probably give you plenty of authenticity, but something that's raw and you have emotion that either like relates. It was American grown, so it's another thing that you kind of go back to. in this country genre. Actually, I'm curious about something. Because I have like the... let's see. Let's see if I do rising country music sales. Beyonce, the country music sales. That okay. Country music surges in UK. Beyonce, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, which makes sense. Present statistic behind Luke Bryan's chart dominance. Music report highlights Nashville's growing influence over industry trends. Oh, yeah, no shit. Country music is dominating Wisconsin's summer concert season like never before in 2025. Fascinating. So, like, you can see it's dominating the Wisconsin market for sure. I think, well, you'll see. I feel like you're going to see more. I don't know why. Beyonce, for some reason, just jumped into it. So we'll see how long this lasts. It's just very interesting because another one's going to, between music, another one's just going to leap to the top. It's what happens. Whatever that is, I don't know. But I think we'll find out. I don't know if it will be country. I had a feeling it will, because you had a lot of artists switch over to it. A lot of roaring, like raw talent that's coming up, and I think people are excited that like to listen to it. But we'll see what happens. It's very fascinating. I'm just very fascinated because you see this switch in culture. How long it lasts, I don't fucking know. But it's fun to keep an eye on. All right. Here's some other fun news. I don't know how to switch over to this one. People are arguing about Trump. Did you know Trump's old? I knew Trump's old. He's how old is he though? Hold on before I start. Because I knew he was old. Look at. I understand this man is probably be implemented into a retirement home pretty quickly. But what was I gonna say? 79. Okay. But people are attacking him for his age. I'm like, no shit. He's old. He's 79. He is the oldest lasting president. You mean we have to do certain things at certain times of the day to make sure he's awake for him? Yeah. Oh shit. But you act like that wasn't. That was worse. This is a worse option than what was before. It's better. Like at least this guy can operate. Yeah, he's falling asleep in meetings, but he's not. We're not worried that he's dead. We're not. They're not putting a body double up because we might have something happen. That he had a fall and he couldn't get out of bed. He just needs somebody to walk across the lawn. At least they might be able to get somebody for his size. They got someone too tall for Biden. What's going on? It's like the same. I get the attacks. He is too old. I agree. He shouldn't be our president because the age factor. I think we should just be putting an age limit. I get it. The founding fathers didn't put age limit back then because, well, nobody knew how old they were going to live. They weren't going to live until 79 much back then. So they weren't planning on being like, yeah, you just cap off. You're done. No, they were just going to let it roll. See how this turns up. It turns out, dude, we're fucked. Like, yeah, 79 is old. Of course. We should be worried. We shouldn't be doing this. And people are upset. Like, oh, why do we have an old guy? We have to adjust for it. His might be aging and his cognitive decline is clear. And we're like, yeah. I think the other guy's cognitive decline was pretty clear too, but no one pulled the plug on that. We're just going to talk about it for 4 years. We'll see how bad it gets. If he gets so bad that we're going to put almost in a puppet, we got to put him on sunglasses. Then we got to worry about it. But he hasn't fallen off a bike yet. So let's wait. Should we put him back in office? God, no. Should we find someone else? For sure. But the only options weren't that pretty. And I'll be honest with you, I would be worried about his cognitive decline too. But I would be worried about the other person's cognitive capability in a broad general sense. We didn't have winning picks. We just picked the guy that might have had more capability. Maybe I'm not here being sexist about it. It's just like if you just look at the track records, both of them. They one was clearly more successful in the career they chose over the other person. And take that how you may. But yeah, we should be worried. He's 79. It's just they're using the same. It's just funny when you look and they're using the same arguments that they use for Biden for Trump, like from this cycle, because like they don't like Biden win, like Kamala didn't win, so now they're just poking everything, which is totally fair. You should be poking everything and cry about it because it does qualified check and make people question and second guess what they're doing. But he's gonna have a cognitive decline. We just gotta worry about it. We gotta pay attention to it. Make sure it doesn't get too out of control. Steps too far out of line. I don't know. We'll figure something out. He's got another guy back with him. At least this. I wonder if this guy's ready to handle it. I hope he is. But hey, I just think we should be worried about it. I'm not saying anything bad about it. Clearly, he's a 79-year-old man who has done some stuff. We should just pay, like, if something happens, just check it out. He's 79. He's the leader of the free world. We got to pay attention to him. All I'm saying is cry all you want. I haven't seen him stumble. He talks in circles. He's always talked in circles. But he hasn't fallen downstairs. He's not seeing ghosts. He's not shaking random dudes' hands. Biden was shaking ghosts' hands, and nobody said anything for a while. They were just kind of like, aha, look at this meme. But no one was crying about it. People were defending it. And now he has has a slip up on saying something or trouble remembering something in a meeting, and everybody's like, got him right there. Like, yeah, he's 79. He's not gonna remember everything. I bet you don't remember half the shit you should remember on a day-to-day basis. I know I don't. But we just gotta watch him. It's not like, we should call for a panic and freak out. We should have called for a panic and freak out when the other guy fell off his bike. We should have called for a panic and freak out when they had to put a stunt double out there that was too tall for the original guy. That's when we should have called a freak out. Should we be worried? Yes, this guy is crazy. But should we see what he can do instead of just freak out right away? Yeah, we should definitely do that. We're alive still, right? Shit's crazy. Shit's always crazy. But I think we're alive. So we'll just see how this fucking shit plans out. Maybe we shouldn't keep bombing drug boats in Argentina or wherever he's decided to drop them, but he's crazy for sure. I think we should pay attention to his age and what he's doing, and still call into question. I mean, he's an older guy. Just because the dude's older, you should have superiority over everything. Oh shit! That's probably saying it. Superiority over everything. It doesn't mean we should not question his capability. We should. Just making sure he knows, there's a process of where he's coming from. It's not just right out of the gate. This is the first thing I thought of. Might be a troubleshoot, but we gotta try. Can we talk it out real quick, and then we'll think about whether or not it was a good idea. When we decide it's not, that's a different story. But let's start from point A first. I think we should just have a reasonable discourse before we go into crazy mode. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, come on. I get it. It's reasonable to think the guy's old and losing it. But the only options we had were between two 79-year-old men. And maybe one of them was better off than the other. I definitely think so. Could be wrong. I don't know. Probably definitely wrong. Well, we gotta wait and see what happens. It doesn't happen overnight. What else? What else is burning in the world? Oh, yeah, this Nick Fuentes guy. I don't know, man. Interesting guy. Is he a little extreme for sure? He's a little extreme, but I think he comes from a good spot. I feel like of just wanting to make like America, and not to lose its values. And I think he believes that losing the values is probably immigration issue and people coming in from another country and trying to change it for their liking. And I get the idea of digging your heels in the ground, but I think he's too. I think the guy's fucking aggressive. Like, just because it seems like if people cross him at any point or like step on his toes, he's instantly to retaliate. And I don't think that's a good way to like operate in this. I get it, dude. I fucking get it. You're trying to prove a point, show you mean business, but you have to work with people. Just because things happen and and they might say something you don't like or agree with something that you don't quite agree with and you're not on the same page with, you shouldn't just cut them off or pull out of something that you were trying to create with them, because then you lose the entire opportunity to actually do the thing. He's got people that follow him. He's got extreme ideas, though. Like Rolling Stone is what compares him to Nick Fuentes filling the void after Charlie Kirk's death. Like, I don't think this guy should, though. Charlie Kirk came. It's like the replacement of Captain America when they replaced him with, the guy who was supposed to take the mantle in Captain America, and he never really fills up to the identity. He's just more aggressive, chaotic, thinks that it should hold the weight because he's this guy. He reminds me more of a, oh God, what's his name? I just had it in my head. He's the guy, Daily Wire, main guy from the Daily Wire. Hold on. The Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro. He reminds me of Ben Shapiro. Just a very right-wing Ben Shapiro. And it's not a good thing. You probably you're coming from, it means you just have the facts and you're coming from a good place, but it doesn't mean you're right. That's all that means. It means you're a little extreme on your views. We probably should take a second to reevaluate some things before we go too crazy. But oh, bless you, fucking. I think if he comes to it with like a less aggressive posture, people will be more likely to go agree with him and be on his side. But the fact that he just goes for it and just goes for the clicks, he's polarizing. You've listened to the Tucker Carlson interview with him, and I forget the newscaster that he talks about that he liked so much, but he liked because he was like a shithead to people who called in, and he thought it was funny, and he was just aggressive. Like that's kind of the persona he's probably taking on. To be that guy. It doesn't mean that he's just trying on purpose to do it. It just means like that's the guy he liked watching about this, like political commentary and stuff like that. And that's the guy he got stuck in his head. So that's probably how he's going to approach the situation. Is it right or wrong? Dude, I think the fucking guy's crazy, but we'll see. It might be the right choice. But I think he does draw attention. He gets eyeballs. He gets people to look at him. Should he not be so tense? Yeah, I think since he's so tense, people want to antagonize him. People want to fucking go at him. Like, that's crazy. Maybe if he was elected, it'd be different, but that's neither here nor there. There was something interesting because he was on a no-fly list too. I'm like, what did you do? Wait, I wonder if I can Google that. Nick. Placed. No flight list due to reportedly making violent threats towards flight attendants. Like, what did he say? Violent. December 2020, this is Fuentes had a verbal altercation with a flight attendant after refusing to pull his mask up over his nose, leading the plane to return to the gate. Jesus Christ, man. He tweeted about the incident later on the camera. He made a struggling gesture while saying, flight attendant will need... Yeah, see, this guy's crazy. Does he have some good points? Yeah, he comes from... I think he brings up good concepts and has a good idea of what he's talking about. I think he can articulate himself in the right manner. Do I think he's right all the time? No. Like, the reason why you're on the no-fly list, man. I was about on your side thinking you were totally crazy. Oh, they're out to get you. No, you just couldn't comply with the laws at the time because you thought it was above you. You thought you were above them. I get it, man, dude. Things are tense. Things are fucking crazy. Not everybody tells the truth all the time. But just in order to operate in this society, you don't gotta just be so rigid that you say fuck it and have to ruin everybody's day. That's just being inconsiderate of everything else that's going on around you. That's being a dick. You had me, dude. Yo, that's awesome. I'm fucking crazy. I'm sorry. I wish no. Because it's just how you talk about it. It just made it seem like you're on the no-fly list for a reason. You're on the no-fly list for a dumb reason, for sure. Absolutely. But you just look at the world and what people knew at that time, what people were willing to share, just kind of the aspect of everything that was going on. You got to just be compliant. Everybody's on pins and needles. And someone who's informed and knows what's going on, like, just don't be so defiant that you kind of just think that everybody's against you. Because that's not true. No, but not everybody's against you. There are people that probably hate you. I bet you there are plenty of people that hate you. You definitely stir up quite a ruckus. But like the Tucker Carlson thing, I'm thinking like halfway through this interview about the guy. And I think it's just Tucker Carlson's perfectly cordial. He's getting the guy to talk, letting him expand on his ideas, not pushing too bad, but asking questions to allow him to that are filling he's willing to cooperate with. I don't think he agrees with everything. I think he's just like he understands what's going on in the world, but he platforms people and lets them talk. So we'll fucking see whether or not people can operate on that. But I think people are still fucking batshit crazy. And that's exactly what the guy does. I think he takes stuff very extreme. I think he's an extreme version of the right side for sure. And there's nothing about it. Like, that's what the guy is, and that's why he can draw attention because he's a loud voice. Good way to get good marketing. It's a good way to begin an act for it to get a lot of people's eyeballs. And you start saying a lot of crazy shit. It starts to get people's attention. You rouse some feathers up. Yeah. But I think you can see is like how he talks about it. Like he's willing to push those boundaries pretty quickly though, and push back as soon as he feels endangered. You're just kind of you can't fight like that. You have to let things be, and let things kind of see what happens. Because if the moment you go into freak out mode and think the world's ending, you're not gonna what the whole thing's crazy. I think it partially is. Like the thing he talks about, an issue that he has like with the Jews in Israel, and he has an issue with them not being talked about, and like why we spent so much money helping that country. And I get it. That's a very good question that should be answered. That's not gonna get answered. But to go out and just hate an entire race because the governments are conspiring against each other or having issues, and there's political ties that people don't quite see or understand, or why there's undertows in any of this. No, you can't. What the fuck? You shut up. You can't do that. You can't just let it go. You don't have to let it go. You can demand asking for questions, but you can't just start burning bridges, because then you'll never find out. You want to at least be respectful enough to where you can get to the point of understanding what they're talking about and why we're doing this. I think we're a very risky country to a lot of countries that have locked down everything. So it makes sense to try to take us out, and I think we are push the boundaries of craziness a little too easy. This Nick Fuentes guy's wild though. He says shit where I'm like, what are you doing? That's like a 0F man. He does not give a fuck. Will go swinging for the fucking fences if he has to. Part of me respects it. Scared of it for sure. But I respect it hands down. I just think he comes off very aggressive sometimes with it. So it's just like, dude, if you probably have a good idea of where you're coming from, but not everybody's trying to burn your life down. It's not like my opinion really matters. It's just my take on whatever the hell's going on. And I'm pretty checked out half the time. But it's crazy. So let's relax. Relax. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But that's all I got. Adios.